Good morning, how are you today? It's Dave Crane for another live broadcast. It's a bit bright and noisy outside, to be honest with you, so I was thinking of doing it out here, but it's a bit hot. And if I start doing a broadcast and I'm sweaty, you're going to go, oh look, Richard Nixon, dodgy. Well, I've never been called Richard Nixon before, so let's go inside. Much better. I've just fed the dog anyway, so she's kind of chilled out. And I'm just about to make my breakfast. So if you're making your breakfast, then you can watch this at the same time. But if you're making something like, I don't know, bacon and eggs, or you're cooking something or frying something, there's a very good chance you'll burn your fingers, or worse. So pay a little bit more attention. All right, today I want to share with you something that came up. I was just thinking about it last night, actually, before I decided to go to sleep after reading a book, etc. And I thought, well, what I'd like to share with you today, apart from a big shot of my chest, which I know you're looking forward to, is we have bad habits all the time. Lots of people have bad habits, and unless somebody points out your bad habits, if you've picked them up from somebody else, sometimes you think they're normal and things that you should be doing on a regular basis, and they're probably not. Now, a lot of them are in your mind, a lot of them are things that you repeat on a regular basis, a lot of them are things that everybody else does, so therefore it must be okay, and a lot of it's stuff that's created by the media, which we all sort of accept as being the norm, and they're really, 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 really bad for you. So let's do about 9 or 10 of them. Let's pretend there's 10. I'll make up another one if I can keep the counting going. So number one, let's talk about pessimism. Let's talk about having a really bad view of how the world is out to get you and do terrible things. Now, the truth is, the world isn't out to get you. The world's actually quite cool. In fact, the world doesn't care. Everybody's thinking, what's in it for me? So the last thing they've got to do is have time to worry about what worries you. So have a nice, positive view of what's going to happen in the world. Don't start thinking, oh my goodness, it always happens to me. It doesn't always happen to you. You notice it because you're living in your head. You're experiencing your life. The world is a wonderful place, otherwise other people wouldn't have wonderful experiences. And the reason that you do have better experiences is when you're not pessimistic and you're optimistic about the world, you're programming your mind to notice a certain type of thing. If you're negative, you're saying to your mind, notice negative stuff to prove that the world is negative. So your mind goes, okay, doesn't care, just goes, okay, and gets more negative stuff for you. If you're positive, you program your mind to say, show me more good stuff in the world. It goes, okay, doesn't care, and shows you more proof that the world is a good place. So make it a new habit, okay? Make sure that being more positive about life is part of your natural makeup, and you feel better. All right, number two, blaming fate. Now, I'm not going to go near religion on this one, because every single religion actually turns around at the very beginning and says your actions make you who you are. Not just believing that some entity, some pre-written consequences are going to happen. Blaming outside things means that you don't have to worry about what you actually do. Oh, well, you know, I'm not really going to make much effort, because if I do make much effort, then it's not really making any difference to the end result. So I'll just sit here and watch TV, or even not even read a book, read a magazine, and find out what the Kardashians are doing, and that's how I'm going to compare their life to my life. And they're so rich, and they've got such big bum-bums and all the rest of it. Look, dead simple. Stop blaming fate and start taking control. Fate doesn't exist. Every single day, you get the opportunity to grab life by the horns and do something with it. If you don't do something with it, then who's going to be blamed for that? You. Forget the fate thing. When it comes to the very end of your life, somebody's going to turn around and say, did you have a happy life? Are you going to really turn around and say, no, it was predestined for me to be miserable? And they say, well, I had a good time. How are you going to feel about that? So don't wait that long. Don't wait until you're on your deathbed lying there like that. Well, you might not be. You might be that way. I don't know. I've never been on deathbed. But so stop blaming fate. Start thinking about how you can actually grab control and change it. Number three, stop looking for the easy option. Now, it's a smart move to look at all the options and choose the one that you can do best, but sometimes the easy option isn't the best one. Not least burying your head in the sand and hoping, thinking about things, grabbing control, and just map out the options. Sometimes it is a tough thing. Sometimes the option you're going to choose might not work out, but it's part of your learning curve. Be used to that. That sense of learning only comes from getting it wrong sometimes, but growing as a person and having those experiences. That's why when you go shopping, you don't just buy sweets. Well, I hope you don't just buy sweets, because you know that ultimately you've got to have a blend of things in your life to make you healthy. So as part of that deal, make sure that you actually look at different options, not just take the easiest one, okay? It's that simple. Another thing to get rid of, let's go to number 4 now, jealousy. Stop being jealous of other people. My dad always said, stop being jealous of people because you never know what they had to do to get it. I remember when I was a kid at school, I lived in Scotland, I had a kid in my class who actually, funnily enough, his dad used to work in Bahrain, which is just around the corner from Dubai, where I actually live right now. And his dad worked in oil, and so his dad had lots of money, so his dad always used to come home by him remote control cars they could drive around in, amazing toys, the latest stuff off the TV, which we would only get at Christmas, he'd get every time his dad came back. But here was the twist, he hardly ever saw his dad. So of course when his dad came back, he'd give him the very best presents as a kind of I love you bribe. Now I'm not going to say the guy's name because I still think he's one of my best mates from school, but the point was that whenever you have to think about what other people have, you've got to balance it up with what they've got to deal with. If you think about how great it would be to be a Kardashian or one of these super celebrities, Justin Bieber, imagine not being able to walk around your house in your underpants without it going on press and being in the world. Imagine if you're having a rotten day, the whole world sees it and they share it, so millions of people are making lousy opinions about you without even knowing who you are. You never know what people have to do to get by. Imagine being a swan, right? The swan's on a river and the swan is gliding beautifully, and you say, wow, that's elegant. Underneath the water, paddling like this to keep it all going. Everybody's like that, so stop blaming people and stop being jealous, because you'd be surprised how many people would turn around and look at you and say, wow, look at all the options you've got. You might not have all the pressures that I have. I'd love to be in that position. So having a kid, wow, you've got a kid, I'd love to have a kid. Well, tell you, school fees, constant contact, looking after them, growing them, complete blessings, I promise you. But sometimes days off are kind of cool as well. And if you haven't got a kid and you're thinking, wow, I'd love to have a kid, there's a balance in everything. I'm just throwing out kids as a conversation. But literally, it's not just about that. Don't be jealous of people. You don't know what they have to do to get what they have and to maintain it as well. Number 5, stop blaming genetics. Don't blame your mum, your grandpa, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you might have some physical ailments, you might have some mental ailments, you might have a whole host of things, but the question is, what are you going to do about it? Okay? All the people who turn around and say things like, oh, you know, I'm big boned, my entire family's big boned, that's why we're fat. No, you're fat because you eat too much. I'm sorry, it sounds terrible to say it, but there's a simple formula, and it's not going through health fads, okay? It's not having the latest Atkins and all the rest of it. Eat less, exercise more. That's the deal, okay? Eat less, exercise more. But whatever it is that you're thinking about genetics, just do a little bit harder work. Find out exactly what it is that you can do to remedy and sort it out. Because I guarantee, while you're complaining about things, there's a ton of people who have found a solution, and maybe that solution is just how to deal with it better. Maybe that's the solution you need to find, but whatever it is, that's what you should be working for. That's what you should be looking towards, okay? So stop blaming genetics, and definitely stop turning around and blaming your family and saying, Mom, if only you'd married somebody taller, then I would be able to reach all the stuff off the top shelf. Well, maybe that's life. Get a chair. Stop whining. All right, so next up, creative solutions. Always look for new creative solutions. It's part of training your mind. Whenever you have a problem, go, ooh, this is good. What am I going to do about it? Because the more you do that, the more your brain grows with the ability to learn stuff. It's like playing chess. First time you play chess, I know you look at me saying, Dave, I don't play chess. Well, if you do play chess, first time you play it, you have no idea. You're just moving the pieces. Then it starts to form patterns. Then it starts to become formulas. And before you know, you're able to think about 2, 3, 4, maybe even more moves ahead. The grandmasters can see the whole game in front of them because of experience and because of the logical thinking, consequential thinking that they use. And it's all part of your emotional intelligence. So look for creative solutions. If you're not sure, ask a friend. That's not always the best solution, depends who your friends are. But Google it. Google answers, Yahoo answers, all these different things, solutions, people like me telling stuff to you. sometimes useful, might not be the right solution for you, but what it does give you is options, and grab as many options as you can. And before you know it, you might get closer to really what you need. Be creative all the time. The more you train your brain to do it, the easier you're going to find that whole experience to be. Okay? Are we happy with that? No, Dave, don't like it very much. Well, you have to be. Well, you don't have to be anything. All right. Number 7. Number 7, health fads. Okay? All the time, you're going to be confronted with lots of wonderful new solutions that have come out. Usually these solutions are there to sell you something. I know this sounds like the obvious, because it is. Health fads tend not to work. I've already mentioned the health solution to losing weight. Stop eating, work out. Not stop eating, eat more healthy. Be more aware, drink more water, get better sleep so you got more energy. Go to a gym. Go to a gym, get advice, get a personal trainer, work as a partnership with somebody who's also going to watch their diet and work out. Get yourself so it becomes a habit so you don't even notice doing it. I'm slightly out of my habit, which is why you haven't seen me in the gym for a little while. Tomorrow morning I'll start my habits again because I've been traveling and with different time zones, and you're going, Dave, that's your excuse, and I'm saying that's the one I'm sticking to. Okay, so that's what I'm definitely sticking to. So as I said, number 7, health fads. Be aware that new things are happening in science all the time. Doesn't mean necessarily that those are the ones that you should be embracing. And sometimes swapping your entire diet for something that doesn't actually work for you is actually bad. We are natural at being predators, and we do eat vegetables, and we do eat meat. You need to replace that. If you're not going to eat meat, be a vegetarian. I have no problem with that. No problem being a vegan. But if you're not going to get the stuff like protein into your system, you've got to replace it with something else. And I'm sorry, but a cabbage ain't going to be the thing that replaces it. Just do a bit more work before you turn around and say, right, this is the latest thing. I saw it on TV, or a guy down the pub said it was a really good idea. That's why I bought the book. Okay. Another habit that some people have is not to set goals. They just go with the flow. Every single day, yeah, get out of bed. I don't know what's going to happen today. Let's just take the adventure. Now, there's nothing wrong with that as having it as part of your overall calculations. There's somebody else at my house. Habit is your overall balance of calculations. Having days where you just go, you know what, I'm going to have a day off. But by and large, set goals for yourself, because then you know what you're achieving, you know why you're doing it, and you're heading in a certain direction. Make them big bucket list goals, make them small daily goals. Have a look at your list before you go to bed, and in the morning decide which of those ones you're going to work on and which have changed in your mind since before you thought about it, before you went to bed. I'm really wondering who that person is outside my house. You're intrigued as well. If I'm not on tomorrow, by the way, you know it was a man with a machete. In which case I was due a haircut anyway, but possibly not like that. All right. Here's another thing that's silly, that bad habits that you have to get rid of, okay? Are you ready for this? This will be number 9, I think. I can't remember the earlier ones. 8 was something else. All right. Number 9 is actually not paying attention to experts. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't pay attention to health fads or things like this. What it means is, look, if somebody's a lawyer, or somebody's a doctor, or somebody's a therapist, or somebody's a self-improvement expert, or somebody's a sportsman, the odds are they know what they're talking about. Now, what tends to happen, especially in politics, is some people seem to think that I don't believe any of that, so therefore it must be rubbish. I'm going to stick with my own plan because it's not working for me, but I didn't want to consider your stuff before, and ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is actually stupid. Taking as many different sides and parts of the argument as possible, you never know, you might be missing out on something really important, and if you've got experts out there who are saying this, that, and the other, then that's probably because they've spent lots of time working on it. Now, time is money, time is energy, time is very important. If you don't want to spend all that time finding alternatives to what they're saying, let them do the heavy lifting. Look for contrasting arguments. Just wondering who is that there? Can you see somebody? Anyway, so number 9 is always pay attention to experts who are talking about subjects you're interested in. Balance it up by checking out their credibility. Sometimes they end up getting sued because they're talking rubbish, and sometimes they get discredited later. But it's always interesting to have another opinion, and that's why sometimes you should just have an open mind, and certainly don't ignore people who've got qualifications to say that they probably know a bit about what we're talking about. And the last one, number 10, of all the habits you need to stop having is this: gossiping. Stop gossiping. Stop paying attention to what everybody else is saying. Good things, bad things. Do you know they've done that? You know, it's very easy to get absorbed into it. Now, the way that, this is going to sound really sexist, don't mean it like this. The way that the female brain is wired up is to enjoy conflicts, to enjoy reevaluating situations, and to have gossip, or at least have conversations and emotions and relationships as things that really do excite you. Guys don't get it. They don't have the same brain set up at all. If you look at a PET scan and how our minds are set up, guys don't really get into gossip. It's not being, I'm not being bitchy, I promise you. But their brains are set up to do solutions. That makes us so boring. That's why we don't like shopping. We don't like the idea of gathering and moving around and chatting, which is part of the shopping process. We just want to go hunt it, get it done, finished. Okay? With women, it's different. That's why they enjoy getting together and chatting. And they go, oh, do you know about this? And did this happen? And you can spend hours doing that. Guys don't get it. They have no concept about why it is. And it's very important for you in your mind that you have that ability to chat and reevaluate. Because that's how you reset your balance and reset your emotions and reset your mind so it becomes calm. But don't get too used to gossiping. Don't be nasty gossiping. Be conversational. Slightly different. If you spend a lot of time thinking badly of others, which is ultimately what gossiping has to be, you're always evaluating them in comparison to you and how you're doing better and they're blah, 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 it's not good for you. It gives you a negative opinion of people. And when you're negative, you start thinking that everyone's bad, you start thinking the worst of everybody, well, you should think the best of everybody. If somebody's really negative, that's their problem. Spend less time with those kind of people who have opinions on other people. It doesn't care. Every single person, doesn't matter how big or small they are, is working as hard as they can to be the very best that they can. Some are rubbish at it, some are good at it. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, that's it. That's 10 things I wanted to share with you. We can leave the kitchen now. I'm going to go and make my breakfast. No idea where my dog has gone. I'm going to have a wander outside to find out who it was that's wandering out. Who's in my garden? Creepy, huh? I'll go upstairs, get a baseball bat, and I'll join you probably same time tomorrow. So have a wonderful day. Look after yourself. And be crazy. In the background, there's my girls, Aziza and Maya, on their hollybobs. Oh no, it's not. That's me. Me and the wife. If my dogs had a beard, that'd be freaky. All right, take it easy. See you tomorrow. Be good. Bye.